fifth grade, I am looking at your week 3 information to kind of see what our expected outcomes are, and I made a really great discovery. For that vocabulary development time, we'd already discussed that our vocabulary words within our stories are definitely going to be integrated into our language arts. If you want to use something separate for that vocabulary development other than science, I'm not sure what your science lessons are looking, the culminating writing task every day would be a great choice for there. It's not something you have to do, but the culminating writing activity says, tell about a time when you saw something beautiful, such as a vivid sunset, a rainbow, or a majestic mountain. Include strong words and phrases to describe the experience. A great activity that you could do each day is have a powerful picture up on the screen and have the kids describe it using those strong phrases, those vivid details. I know that Ms. Knuth did this activity in her class last year, and she had some great pictures that really sparked imagination. So it wouldn't be something that you were looking for a published version of, just a chance to get that vocabulary going and kind of bring back some of the vocabulary that's in their head that they don't always use. Again, that's not a requirement. It's just something in case you wanted to really boost their vocabulary in a fun way and make it meaningful. That's one idea. Another thing when I'm looking at your week 3 is your options. You have more than one option as stories, but I noticed that the option 1 for one of the anchor texts is Camping with the President from your anthology, and it's just under 20 pages. I'm wondering how we're going to get through 20 pages, is my first thought, without even looking at the story. 20 pages is a lot. I do know that if you did that, there was a second text that was a walk with Teddy that was just 3 pages. Or you could do option 2, which is using the CIS lesson provided, which again is using that Camping with the President anthology, which is just under 20 pages, but you'd have a few more days to do it. Before Thursday or before you start planning week 3, you're probably going to want to look at those texts, see if they're texts that you're able to use, or if they're too overwhelming as far as length, we can modify the texts you use as long as we're looking at the expected outcome. The expected outcome is that students will be able to explain how and why information about the same topic might be presented differently across texts. We can find other texts to do this with. We just have to make sure that it's that 5th grade level text, so students have to strive to get there. I know in the Scope magazine that Scholastic put out for middle school last year, they would often have paired texts, different point of views, and it would correlate really well with this expected outcome. I'm not sure about the magazines in your classroom, but if there's some texts in your classroom that do talk about the same topic in a different point of view, this would be perfect time to pull those if they are in fact leveled at 5th grade level text, so we can look at that. So before you start planning week 3, you may want to look at that because I see that as a barrier in planning, and maybe we might need to find some texts that are more suitable for that activity. But looking back at that picture activity for vocabulary, I just had the thought, you know, you could have the same picture up and all of your students, all 15 students, may look at that picture in a completely different way, and that's going to spark some discussion. Well, why did Johnny think that was a majestic mountain that was reaching for the clouds, but Mary might have saw it as a forbearing mountain that was hiding everything underneath it and leaving the world in shadows? So different perspectives based on what where the students are coming from. I hope this helps. I think it'll spark your thinking that, oh my goodness, I better look at this before I plan. Again, this page, it's your week 3 overview. We may want to look at the text to see if they're okay, or if we're not going to be able to get to them in time, let's go ahead and find some new texts to work with. I will see you on Thursday during planning.